as you all know, the Wicked movie will be split into two separate films, released in 2024 and 2025 respectively. And ever since the months that this has been announced, many different people, especially musical theater fans, are like, why would you split Wicked into two movies? And for months, I've been thinking about other possible musicals that really should be split into two movies. But what I want to talk about here today is a musical that was adapted into a movie that really should have been two movies. And weirdly enough, I just finished a production of this show. Yep, Into the Woods. Now, the reason this should have been two movies instead of the one we got is plain and simple. The gap between Act 1 and Act 2 is very, very hard to do in a feature film. Now, for those unaware, the original Broadway show of Into the Woods, Act 1 and Act 2 are actually two different stories that link together pretty well. The big twist of the show is that at the end of Act 1, the characters are all singing about how their stories are over, and then the narrator says, "To be continued," at the end of Act 1. And then Act 2 starts and there's more story and a lot of other shit happens. And so one would think that when adapting Into the Woods into a feature film, they would do like Warner Brothers did with the It movies and have one half of the book be its own movie and the other half be another movie. But no, Disney decided to cram the entirety of Into the Woods in one movie with barely any transition from Act 1 to Act 2. To the point where many people watching this film in theaters were going, Christ, how long is this movie? Plus, the Broadway show is an hour and 20 minutes, so that would be a perfect movie length, not including credits. Now, granted, Act 2 is only about 70 minutes long, but they could always add more scenes, more songs, or make a couple scenes longer, just to make up for the lesser runtime. Or you could make it a miniseries, have Part 1 be Act 1 and Part 2 be Act 2, or just flat out give the movie an intermission. A lot of Broadway adaptations did this anyway, not just the earlier stuff. Like, it was happening all the way up to Fiddler on the Roof in 1971, which is longer than its musical counterpart, mind you. So, what I'm trying to say here is that the 2014 Disney Into the Woods is not the best film adaptation of Into the Woods that we could have gotten. There were plenty of better ways to adapt the story that I can go in greater detail later, but for now, basically, having it be either two movies, a miniseries, or just having an intermission would have been the better alternative.